Could Norfolk become a new hub for independent filmmaking? That remains to be seen, but talent from Los Angeles, California, Cincinnati, Ohio, and perhaps most interesting, a crew of students plucked from Norfolk are all working on a new film production. It's all shot in Norfolk, in the Good Theater soundstage on ODU's campus. The film is titled 18 Mornings, and it's a consolidated single-room feature film set. ODU's assistant professor David Mallon oversees the student coursework credit while serving as director of photography, and the director is Vince DeGeorge from the University of Cincinnati. He sees the feature as an opportunity for students to learn in a real-world environment.
Combining classroom work with practical work, with experiential work, that is an amazing tool. This type of workshop is an amazing learning tool. I knew that a lot of these students were first-time filmmakers, first time on a set. What David and I had talked about was that they would be involved in every bit of the decision-making. They would see David and I work together. They would work with me, they would work with him, they would work with other professors that we would bring in. So I knew there was going to be a huge learning curve. Once David and I got into doing that in front of them, and they saw that work, like that's the sort of work they need to see. That's the work that you don't get in a classroom, when you see people collaborating, right? Like there's no substitute to seeing that. So that sort of was one of the most important things that I think comes out in a workshop like this.
We all did it together, and without that collaboration, without this being a workshop, we wouldn't have had anything.
There's so much love and care put into this, every single facet of this production that you don't normally see.
I know there are some students who are beginning their education with this. I think, this work being done on a university level, artists can bring their experience to students, to new artists, to fledgling artists. And I'm really excited to be a part of that. It is definitely something that I'd like to repeat again.
All the help of people who had a lot more experience than the students that are involved in this workshop. Like we would all been lost, but now what we have is an excellent production to really show off that like we all made this.
It's interesting to try to light and do focus and things based on sort of an unsure image with the faith and knowing that it's going to look really amazing in post.
He talked about it, I think a few semesters ago, and I was really interested in just diving in, and I liked the idea of working in one location and how we pretty much built a set from scratch into how we pretty much kind of like developed into how it is now.
It's a great opportunity to really just understand how much work is actually required, and making a film isn't easy. It requires a lot of time and effort, and if you put all that in with some organization and planning, you can have something that's really good to show people off.
I think the university, a smart university, supports this type of work, and clearly ODU supports this type of work. When they create a space and support for a project like this. This is important work, not just for this project, but for the next generation of filmmakers that are learning how to create film.
You just have all of these things going on, as opposed to just you and two classmates with a camera and a little, rickety audio setup.
I've never seen that type of behind-the-scene type of experience, and that's something I wanted to kind of observe and see how the process worked between the director, the writer, the DP, and set designing. I thought that was really, really interesting.
How to create cinema, and not just the technical part, which is super important, but the collaborative, creative, minutia, how decisions are made. That's what these students are seeing, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of that.
With resources like a 4K camera in hand, a well-equipped soundstage, and a handful of professional filmmakers, 11 students right here in Norfolk will be able to have the experience of a lifetime to spur on passions to last a lifetime.
I've watched a very, very, very long cut of this movie, and it's really great.
Like, breaking into the film industry is definitely a daunting task for anybody, and as a student right now, outside looking in, it looks like a huge wall to climb. But after working on this set and with professionals every day, it's definitely something I think I could do.
For Norfolk News Now, I'm Chris Free.